isn't. It's inhuman. It's disgusting. It's despicable. Jonathan Gullis talking about 200 unaccompanied children who've gone missing from Home Office premises, children who were in the care of the government, shouted out they shouldn't have come here illegally. There are two questions here, essentially. The first is, what the hell is wrong with him? 0345 606 0973. And I mean that quite seriously. Maybe you know people like this. What's happened to them? What is it that can lead you? Because, listen, this isn't about being anti-immigration or being sceptical about asylum claims or falling for tabloid rhetoric about dinghies or signing up to Suella Braverman's disgusting Rwanda scheme. All of those are intellectually defensible, right? It is not intellectually defensible to greet news of 200 abducted children with contempt and insult. It just isn't. It's inhuman. It's disgusting. It's despicable. Okay, so I'm not today having a swing at people who think that we welcome too many into this country. There are days when I do, because you're wrong, but today is not that day. You've been led to that position very deliberately and very carefully by the kind of people who think or pretend to think that a murder committed by an Afghan asylum seeker is somehow worse than a murder committed by a white British police officer, for example.
Jonathan Gullis is just an example of an extremely ignorant, stupid man who never should have got into politics in the first place.
I don't know that this will come for you, and I'm certainly not going to try and dissipate your rage, because I wish more people felt the reality of the situation in which we find ourselves as keenly as you do. But I do think Gullis is exceptional.
Yes, I think he's unbelievably yobbish, and I don't know how on earth he became an MP. It's unbelievable. But when you've got people who are uneducated, with no sympathy, no empathy, thinking up ridiculous laws like the one you were talking about earlier, something about laughing gas, it's because they will not concentrate on the big issues. They can't do it. I mean, Sunak isn't qualified to do it. He was just a hedge fund manager, for heaven's sake. They don't know what they're doing.
I think that the conversation about Gullis needs to focus on just how, even by the standards of the rest of them, just how disgusting Jonathan Gullis is, Elizabeth. That's where I am today.
We can go on saying this about Jonathan Gullis, but what the people in this country have to wake up to is we are being run by people who don't know what they're doing.
Yes.
And the fact is, I'm sorry, I think you need more politicians who actually know what they're talking about. So if you've got a politician who's involved in health, he should or she should have a background in health.
Okay.
If you have a politician who needs to deal with asylum seekers, you need someone who actually knows and understands the reality of people so desperate to come to this country.
But Jonathan Gullis was a teacher.
He shouldn't have been a teacher. I'm amazed he was a teacher.
But just to take your contribution to the next level, you would expect a former teacher to have empathy for teenagers, to actually have some sort of modicum of concern for young people.
Yes, but I'm sure the school were absolutely thrilled when he left. I mean, but the fact is, what I'm saying is that you need maybe you need to give MPs more money. I've never believed that before, but maybe they're attracting the wrong sort of people. I don't know, but you need people who actually know what they're talking about.
It's a performance piece. He's auditioning for his next job.
I thought that about 30p Lee as well, actually.
Well, he's from Stoke-on-Trent North.
Yeah.
It'll go back to Labour in 2024-25.
Yes.
No school would touch him.
Be tricky to hire him, wouldn't it?
There's only so many jobs on GBBs.
Yes.
So he's being as performatively vile as he possibly can.
In the hope of getting it. I think Jacob Rees-Mogg's just been signed up by GBB, so it's a well-trodden path, although he will no doubt be doing it in conjunction with his duties in the Commons. So they're I mean, if not as presenters, then these people are going to try to become professional guests on these newly proliferating right-wing stations. Bridgen, of course, with his anti-vax stuff, will be a great fit for some of these programming slots. But, I mean, are you being unduly generous to him by suggesting he doesn't really mean it? Because I think he really means it. It just happens to be something that would be warmly welcomed in the media environments you describe.
Well, he's been just as unpleasant by using missing children to further his career.
Yeah, or to try to. Unless I mean, I don't know. Unless it was something that even he would regret afterwards, because he's in the business of engaging mouth before engaging brain. He thinks that he just shout something about illegal whenever the issue of immigration or asylum seeking comes up, but a little later in the day when he looked back over his achievements,
I don't think he's capable of thinking that far ahead.
Or that far back.